What is up, guys, and welcome back. Here we are in the July of 1942 US and KMT term. Let's start off with some tech here. We've got artillery, mechs, armor, rockets, starting radar, and factories. Looks like we just got one there, which is heavy armor. This is a 4. You can't see this one. That's a 4. So we got one. So we will get our heavy armor moved up, fix that. And let's look at our purchases. Okay, so medium armor is going to Anzac, jet fighter going to the Russians, jet fighter going to the KMT, 3 jet fighters for the US, 3 destroyers for the US. We're going to spend our leftover $2 to try to influence Mexico, and then the KMT will be buying 3 infantry, because hopefully if everything goes to plan, they will be a major power at the end of this turn. So I'm going to point out all the combat moves, and then we'll do the Mexico roll, and then some combat. So here we've got 2 infantry attacking 1 infantry. The age-old question, what's better, 2 2s or 1 4? The math says pretty convincingly 2 2s, about 2/3 of the time is going to win, but dice are fickle, so let's see. Up here, transport's going to grab 2 infantry, 1 from Hong Kong, 1 from Hainan Island, come up here, and amphibiously assault Formosa. And joining them will be something that is off screen, so I need to rotate here. This TAC bomber, 1, 2, 3, 4, will have 1 space left over afterwards. Up here into China, we're going to have a walk-on from Szechuan into Shantung, 1 infantry. And then the rest of our Szechuan army is going to go into Hope, so 7 infantry. Jeez. Fat fingers. 7 infantry, a mountain infantry, and an artillery going into Hope against 2 cavalry. Hopefully we don't get too many retreats in that one. 1, 2, 3 cavalry, 3 artillery, 3 mountain infantry, jet fighter, and fighter going into Nanking. So these fighters go 1, 2, 3. They'll have 1 movement point left over. And then to make this fight a little easier, we're going to bring 3 destroyers to blockade this port to fully surround that city. Okay, and then last of all, up here we have our home island blockades. We've got a light cruiser from that's 54 to 38. A destroyer's coming across, and then 2 heavy cruisers and 2 battleships will be blockading, and then 2 destroyers, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 battleships will be blockading over here. And of course these battleships are still damaged. So blockades are a little bit light. He'll probably be able to break them. But we gotta try. We're a little bit thin. I lost more than I was expecting in the home island naval battle there. So we're a little bit thin down here. So I think I declare all the combat. So let's grab a dice tray. Okay, so let's roll for Mexico first. We need a 1 or a 2. Wow. Wow, guys, I was not expecting that. I was just throwing my 2 extra bucks. So we have aligned Mexico. Boop. And I've got some guys sitting down here from when I was trying to align them earlier in the game. So that's fun. Get a new fighter, get a new cavalry, get a new destroyer. Yippee. And then the U.S. income will move back up to 67. Okay, now I gotta figure out what to do with those units on the fly, because I was not expecting to get them. Okay, well, hopefully the rest of my turn is as lucky. So let's start with Borneo to Sarawak here, 2 2s versus 1 4. So we got 2 2s versus 1 4. And there's a 1. So we are getting some fortuitously low rolls here. We'll remove the infantry. Playing old stars and stripes down there. And sorry we're going back and forth, but this is the only one that's going to affect U.S. income, so I'm going to go ahead and update it now. I have Japan moving to 27, and the U.S. now moving up to 68. Okay, now the rest of these will be for the KMT. Let's do Formosa next. We've got 2 infantry, attack bomber, and against the militia. So let's mark this militia. Let's mark our attack bomber. And let's roll this out. My 2 infantry are 1 because it's a mountainous island. Let's see what we get. We have a hit with our attack bomber, and this down here is a 7 for his militia, so that is a miss. So Formosa will be seized, and this is a part of KMT home country, so it will be just liberated for the KMT here. Okay. Next up, while we're over here, let's do this walk-on. Make sure we do this one before Nanking, so it's surrounded. And then another fairly easy one up here is 7 infantry, artillery, and mountain infantry versus 2 cavalry. So let's do this one as well. So with the River Debuff, my infantry will be down 1, but artillery is not affected. They can just shoot over the river. So we will roll a 3 with first strike for my artillery and roll a 1. Holy cow. So we will remove a cavalry. Now we will roll a 2 for my boosted infantry. And then we have 7 regular infantry. So 7 at 1 with the river penalty. So no hits, but also no retreats. So I'd say that's a win. Now we have a cavalry applying it a 2. Okay, I guess the good rolls go both ways. I will remove an infantry before I forget. Okay, going again, we've got a mountain infantry and a artillery both at 3. And 2 7s there. So now we've got 6 all at 2 for my infantry, and I see 1 hit and 3 retreats. So that's pretty bad. 1 hit and 3 retreats. Bear with me here, guys. I gotta try to keep this updated real time so I don't mess anything up. Okay, and now let's roll that last cavalry rebuttal, and he will miss with a 7. So let's come over here. And Hope will be taken. We'll move the cavalry. I spoke too soon about the retreats. Half my guys ran away. So we've got 3 infantry, a mountain, and an artillery in Hope. I had 3 infantry retreat to Sheswan, like so. And now all that's left is the big battle down here, which I have set up on the battle board. Okay. Let's take a look again at our forces. We've got 3 artillery to 3, 3 mountain infantry to 3, and 3 cavalry to 3. There is a river that goes through Nanking, but the Roundel's to the south, so I don't have to worry about that. We've also got fighter and jet fighter. And then defending, militia at 1, 2 artillery at 2, and then 4 infantry at 3. So let's see what we get. Our first round here will be 3 artillery versus, 2 artillery, all first strike. I see, wow, 2 first strikes for the KMT and nothing for the Japanese. So I will remove a militia and an artillery right away. And then let's move into the first round proper. So we will have 3 cavalry, 3 infantry. Those are red. 3 cavalry, 3 infantry. And then 2 fighters, which are a 6 and an 8. So let's roll all this. I see 1 hit, 2 hits here. And then these down here are a 4 and a 5. So we've got 2 hits for the KMT. I will move the last artillery and an infantry below the casualty line for the Japanese. And then in rebuttal, they will have 1 artillery and 4 infantry at 3. Oops, get out of there, cavalry. So no hits there. That's a good sign. So we will, let me move the camera and show you guys where we stand. We will move these 2 guys, and off the top of my head, I remember I got a 4 and a 5 for the cavalry. I can't remember what I rolled for the 3rd cavalry, so I'm going to not roll him in case he had to retreat. And then I'll check the video later and see if he actually... Shoot, well, I'll roll for him again just in case he has to retreat, but I won't count any hits that the cavalry happen to get. So we will have 3 cav, 3 artillery, and 3 infantry, and then our 2 fighters against 3 infantry. So let's roll all this. We have no hits and no retreats from the cavalry, so that's good news. Have a hit here from an infantry, a hit from a fighter, and a hit from artillery, infantry, and a fighter. Okay, so that should wipe out the last 3 Japanese infantry. And then he will get 3 responses at 3 and 1 hit. So I will take a cavalry as a casualty there, and that will be the fight for Nanking. Again, I'm going to have to check if that 1 cavalry retreated. I forgot to check for that. So let's update this. So Nanking has fallen. I'm going to try not to mess everything up down here. So 4 infantry, a militia, and 2 artillery will perish. And moving into Nanking, we have 3 mountain infantry, 3 artillery, 3 artillery, and 2 cavalry. And one of those may be in Hunan. Obviously you guys know because you can go back and check real quick, but at the time of this filming, I'm not sure where that other cavalry is. So this guy is dead. My planes will non-combat back to Hunan. Okay. And while we're over here, so let's just update the income because that is a pretty important part right now. The KMT took 3 2s and a 1. So we took Shantung, Nanking, Hope, and Formosa, which brings the Japanese down to 20. And 7 plus 7 is 14, which is higher than the 13 needed to become a major power. So the Chinese no longer have an attack debuff, which is fantastic news. So we have some non-combat moves here. Infantry is going to move over into Hunan. 2 infantry from Yunnan into Szechuan. 4 militia from Yunnan into Szechuan. They can move now because I am a major power and this is all home country, so my militia can move, which is great. And then other non-combats, we're going to have this escort carrier is going to come down and pick up this tac bomber. So he's either got to break the blockade or come out and pick off this tac bomber. I'm curious to see what he does. This transport is going to stay where he is. This fleet carrier is going to hop over to the other side. And I believe that's it for our non-combat moves. Okay. At least in the Pacific. I have some in the Atlantic. Okay, let's see if we can get all this into one clip here. So this destroyer is right here. This destroyer is right here. You will tilt you up just a hair. Okay, here we go. We are going to bring 2 transports and an attack transport to 44, along with 2 light cruisers and a destroyer, and another destroyer, 1, 2, 3, and another destroyer, 1, 2, 3, and 1 more destroyer. Hope you guys saw that. Destroyer from 79, 77, and 30 all converged into 44, as well as 2 light cruisers and a destroyer and 3 transports from 48 all into 44 here. Okay. Now, 2 coastal subs are going to come into 32. This transport right here is going to scooch down into 21. I hope you can see that. Yeah, just barely. So while we're here, we're gonna have 2 attack transports and a regular transport. 1, 2, 3 into 23. Let's scooch these guys over and put all the American stuff on the left here. So along with 2 jet fighters, 6 infantry, a fleet carrier. Now this is 4 spaces for these planes to fly, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 for the fleet carrier, so we're all good there. This fleet sub will be joining them as well. And this destroyer is going to form a picket in the English Channel. Godspeed to him. And yeah, best of luck to him. One last thing here. So this medium bomber is going to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to Labrador. A little bit better spot for him to be. I guess you could hardly see that. So Bermuda, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up into Labrador. Okay, now we have some units from Mexico here that we can move. So this destroyer is going to come 1, 2, 3, join this fleet in 44. This plane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into New York. We're going to rail a cavalry and an infantry into New York as well from Mexico. Okay. And I believe those are all of our non-combats. Okay, so let's place units. Starting over here in the Pacific. Three destroyers coming down outside of San Francisco. And while we're over here, looking at China, we are going to send a jet fighter up through Siam, the typical path into Yunnan. And then Russian fighter into Vladivostok. And of course, our Anzac medium armor into Queensland here. Great. Let's place the KMT infantry. I'm going to place one into Yunnan. You know what, guys? I forgot a non-combat move that I wanted to do. I'm going to go ahead and do it. If you guys want me to take it back, it's fine. I understand, but I did have a non-combat move. I was going to split up these two infantry from Yunnan and rail one into Burma. Now that I'm a major power, I forgot that I could do that. So one infantry into Yunnan, and then two into Szechuan, which I need to grab one, sorry. I dropped my other guy, I don't know where he went. So two into Szechuan, one into Yunnan there. Okay. Again, I know I'm doing a non-combat move in my place units. If you guys want me to take it back, just let me know. I have no problem with sending that guy back. Okay, and then we'll grab 3 jet fighters. Head to the Atlantic. And all 3 of these guys are going into New York. So it is a little busy in New York, so I'm kind of going to leave them in the Canada area, but they are in New York. 3 jet fighters and 1 fighter, 1 cavalry, and 1 Mexican infantry. Okay, let's grab our dice tray. And roll for wartime income. We've got 2 4s there, which is 8. So we've got 75 plus 5 is 80 for new territory, plus 8 is 88 for the Americans. So flipping around here, this is 86 right here from last turn, so let's grab, I said 88, so there's 88 there. Now for the KMT, our base income is now 14 plus 1 bonus for having Yunnan is 15. And we have retaken Nanking, so we will put our capital topper back on there. Okay. And that is it for the turn, guys. Check out Hambone for January of 1943. The game is getting late, but I still think the Allies have an outside shot to win this thing, believe it or not. We just need Russia to not die. All right, I'll see you guys later. Love you.